We started.
Oh, have we started?
I don't know.
Oh, we've started. Welcome to Friday Brew with Brendan and Andrew. It's Friday. Yay!
Woohoo! I love a bit of Friday.
The week.
Some people call it a fuller Friday.
Welcome to new subscribers on the audio section, and welcome to any new viewers on the video section. It's okay, you can make your fuller joke again if you want.
Yeah, some people call it a fuller Friday. I was seeing if you or anyone else would notice the cup is upside down. Hat tip to Liam O'Rourke who dared me to do that, and I was far too drunk over Christmas to remember that for the first podcast. And
I only say it because I looked and I was like, is the text on your cup backwards? And then I was like, I don't remember the text on your cup being backwards. Damn it! I have to say, actually, I don't know about you, but certainly Elaine and I on the breakfast show this morning, we're in fierce giddy form, and I think it's partly because today is our payday. Normally we get paid on the last Friday of the month, but because of Christmas we got paid a little bit earlier, which meant if we'd waited till next Friday, 7 weeks would have gone by. Seven Fridays would have gone by. So we got paid a week earlier, and we're all
I'm
in
actually
the
voluntary, so it doesn't really affect me.
Oh, sorry, then none of us.
Quite rude that you're all on about payday today.
Can I also be honest with you? I am wrecked. I am just totally wrecked, like.
Yeah.
I'm just the last half an hour there. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
So that's me anyway. So that's me starting off with a rant.
It's like I'm always tired. Like,
yeah,
so.
just tired today.
Yeah. It's been a week of shitty sleep, actually.
Yeah.
I think there's a fox around the farm or something, because every night this week, without fail, Arthur, who we like to call a Labrador, but he's probably a mix of about 27 different species of dog. Like about 3 to 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm so tired. You know, when you're in that deep sleep, you're too tired to say, "Hey, shut up!" or too tired to even check the watch or the phone for the time. But I'm pretty sure it's about 3 to 4 in the morning because it's pitch dark, and it'd just be like nestled in and all lovely and cozy, and then and you're just like, oh, shut.
I love it.
And then every morning this week as well, me and Eve would wake up just like, oh man, Arthur was barking. Did you hear him? It's like, yeah, I was pretending to be asleep because I didn't want to shout at him, so you know,
I wouldn't wake you.
I thought you were.
Yeah.
So we're both doing that all week, pretending to be asleep. For the other person to not wake them up and give out to Arthur, but he's a bollocks, and
but you love him.
No, I'm gonna kick him over the hedge the next night he does that.
It's funny you said
over
that.
The head.
Just this morning, I was leaving the house. It was about the time 25:05, and the next thing I left the dog out to pee as well. And
you see, I wouldn't do that. I just couldn't.
Well, what happens is our dog is quite cute that way. If I get up and I go to work, if I don't leave her out to pee, she'll then get up like 10 minutes later, and then Una is not a morning person at all. She is not the person to be getting out of bed to leave the dog out. So anyway, as I opened the back door, it's funny you said that, in the distance, all I could hear was woo, in the distance, somewhere I had no idea where, it was ages away. And I said to myself, oh God, please don't bark now, because of course she'd hear it. Like, she stood on the doorstep and just went, and I went, oh, for Christ, you're going to wake up the whole place. Like, and this is me out then, get in. And then the next thing, she was there. I was looking at her. Like, she was peeing in the garden whilst barking her head off, and then she just shot in up the stairs and curled into the bed again. And I was like, oh.
My God.
Anyway, so yeah, a little bit tired.
I didn't think that dogs could bark while they pee.
Oh, well, this one anyway, she's a special talent. Like, love her, like, see, but
Arthur's just barking. Particularly lazy, right? You know the way, like, if you were to mime a dog pissing, right, you'd like cock the leg way out, right? Whereas like Arthur is so fat and lazy, he's walking along and he'll just stop, and instead of sticking his leg out to the side, he just goes
barely pulls up the leg.
Barely pulls it up. It's the weirdest thing. He's the only dog I've ever seen do that.
I can't believe we're starting off the podcast with this chat this week, but my dog is a girl, and girl dogs tend not to cock their leg. They kind of squat. Whereas what she does is she kind of, I don't know how she does it, she kind of goes up on the front two paws, almost like a backwards wheelie, and just pisses as she's waddling along.
Oh, and she waddles along.
Yeah,
so
she can do
not create a puddle, therefore wetting her hind paws. Bailey, you're a genius.
She's quite ingenious, yeah. So tired this week. And are you getting to the point in your life where you're like, planning your lion?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well,
definitely,
normally that's me on a Saturday. Although
Yeah.
I have a few bits to do tomorrow. I have to get a haircut. Clearly,
I do. As well.
my barber,
I'll
aka your barber, is playing in an All Ireland
Fitz
final
Fight.
tomorrow, and that
Barber
bastard
Fitz.
had the cheek to not
Is he
be
not
working.
working?
Oh, it gets even worse, man. He had the cheek to not be working today and tomorrow.
Shane.
Because the Nagale team are going to Dublin. So I said to myself, you bastard. And in fairness to him, he said to me, I'll just book you in with Chris, will I? Chris, legend, an award-winning
No,
barber.
he's not.
But,
Yes, he is, but he's not a legend.
the only day I was able to go and get a haircut was either today or very early tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
And because I want to sleep in tomorrow morning, long and boring story short, I live in Tralee, not Killarney, and I'm not driving to Killarney in the morning. So I'll go up and get a quick haircut, and then... What am I doing? I'm DJing tomorrow night, and then
Nice
training
one.
Sunday morning. All right.
Lovely.
And the
What
Kerry
time?
Whitten show.
What time on Sunday morning?
Training at 9. It's grand. I'm just getting used
Like
to it.
this is where GAA just loses me, right? I'm like a C footballer to my very core. 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning.
But
You
sure.
wouldn't even have mass on.
No,
9
but
o'clock on a Sunday
I'll
morning.
tell you
It's
what though.
reckless.
I'll tell you what though. You think that, but once you're up, right, it's a balls to get out of bed and balls to go training. But once you're there
Yeah.
and it's done, sure you have the whole day off then. Except
great
we're going
stuff.
to the Kerry Whitten show, which I know you're going to as well.
I think I'm going to it. I do have a match that day,
Oh, excuse me.
and I do
I just
have a
burped.
21st the day before. Not
Which
that
you won't be
I'll-
drinking at because you have a match, yeah?
Yeah, just my waddy. But I'm actually, do you know what? I'm actually terrified of this birthday because it's the 21st. I can't remember the last 21st I was at. Maybe there's a reason for that, but it's a good few years anyway. And like, I don't know. I feel like an old lad now. I'm like, hey kid, do you like the TikTok? Are you on the TikTok? Cool. I'm not on the TikTok. I don't understand it. So what we're doing on Saturday is getting a bus, 45 lads, and going around the Ring of Kerry and going to pubs around the Ring of Kerry. Like, I don't think I should even get on the bus, but Eve is going, a few of our friends are going. I'm just like, you know, I think that we'll be wise enough and old enough to go
No.
we'll just pace ourselves. We'll have a tipple here, and you know, I'd say we'll have a sandwich in the next
You're
place.
starting in Killarney, yeah?
I think so, yeah.
Right,
at
so
12, like.
where are you heading to? Glenbeigh?
Killarney, Killorglin.
Killorglin, okay.
Not sure if anywhere will be open at that hour.
Right, but you'll go to Killorglin. And
we'll go to the Red Fox, then to Glenbeigh, then to Kells.
Yeah.
Then there, you see, Cotteens might be called into, but you see, is it even open at this time of year? You see, there's a lot of seasonal places.
What time are you starting?
12.
Then
So
this will be
nowhere.
Brendan Fuller at
It'll be-
4:30.
Yeah. But you see, I actually, do you know what, I haven't said it yet because like it's not cool. But like I do have a match the day after, so I'd say I'll have a few bottles, but I won't be.
Keep it calm anyway.
Oh, like I'd say I'll be skipping, like, you know.
Yeah,
I'll be
yeah,
like,
I get it.
And like, I'd say I'd be on the old 0.0%, which I haven't done yet, but I'll
have.
sneakily kind of do it.
Well, last Saturday night, funny enough,
In Sneem, I might have a pint of Murphy's because
you love Murphy's, and Sneem does a lovely pint of Murphy's,
yeah, Murphy's bar.
Well, I was at a friend's 21st, shout out to Johnny Downey. I was at his 21st last Saturday night. Myself and one of the lads went, and again, definitely the oldest two people there. But because I had training last Sunday morning, I didn't drink, I was driving, and I had a couple of Heineken Zeros.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've done the whole night out on that. That's grand, like.
They're grand, apparently.
Grand, yeah.
I've only had a sip of them when I'd be drinking, and I'm like, yeah, it's missing that. It's that little edge.
Missing the kick.
It's missing the slight kick, and it is. But like, thank God they've done it. But why are they still so expensive?
Yeah, they're the
It's
same
absolute
price as a
bullshit.
regular bottle, yeah.
Because like the whole fermentation process, you know, like you're skipping a step in that because it doesn't have to. Yeah, it doesn't have to, you know, break down the sugars, which then creates the alcohol. So like they're either boiling that out or they're skipping that part in the process. So
of it, yeah.
it should be cheaper, and also what we're paying for in beer and stuff is the tax on the alcohol because we don't want everybody drinking a load. So why the hell is it not like €1.50 or the same price as a mixer? in a pub.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. Such nonsense.
Yeah,
Getting
and then
charged for nothing, like.
I agree. And then if you taste, that's the Heineken Zero we were just talking about. If you taste the Carlsberg Zero, I don't know if have you tasted it or anybody else who listens to this or watches this, but the Carlsberg non-alcoholic one has kind of a sweet taste off it.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of weird. It's nice now, mind you.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
bad, but it's kind of a sweet taste, which is kind of weird. But anyway, this week's podcast is brought to you by Zero Alcoholic Beverages, non-alcoholic beverages.
Oh, I never told people what I'm wearing.
Well, I was just going to say, we kind of haven't really started the podcast
to our
yet.
podcast,
So
I'm wearing nothing at all. You see, sex sells. You see.
Oh,
so
yes.
I'm wearing nothing, only my bare chest. Anyway, sorry, this is getting a weird.
It got creepy all of a sudden, lads.
Yeah. Right. So to our video viewers, listeners, watchers, I am wearing the cool underneath of shoes, which are DC, which are size 8. They're too small for me. My feet will feel horrendous after the day, but it's worth it. Worth it to look so goddamn good. Then I found these socks. They were never opened or worn since the Christmas. They are grey. They have polar bears on them. They're from Pennies, and they're these socks. You know, the ones with the grips. They're class for, like, obviously walking around the house, and then you don't notice that they have grips on them unless you walk into the kitchen. And then you're like, oh yeah, the grips. And they're really handy for being in your shoes as well, because they don't slip down. They don't dislodge themselves as the day goes on. Do you get what I mean?
No, I get what you mean.
Paul Galvin jeans. Farah boxer, different ones from last week. Then I have Kerry jersey. Yes, because National League is on this week.
Oh, you've the old jersey, all right, yeah.
Yeah, I have the Paul Galvin jersey. Is what I have.
Jesus Christ! Will you give the Paul Galvin stuff
the podcast? We need a sponsor for Friday Brew. He has a new range out, actually. It just launched. I had a look at it there before I got the train home yesterday. It's inspired by a scaffolder. I haven't heard or read the story, but
is it Callum from Love Island? No,
no, it's not. It sounds like, I bet you it's a class story, because he had the tattoo man before, and it was this Irish fella who was he was part of like a freak show, because he had tattoos.
Yes,
one of the first people in Western society.
He has genuine influences on his.
Range. No, it's class. You'd learn about some historical character you would have never heard of. So I look forward to looking at it. But the stuff is really nice, I have to say. And then I have this hoodie, which I got for a tenner in Burton's on sale.
Shout out to Burton's as well if you want to give Burton some free clothes.
Yes, please. And then I have the lovely watch that Eve got me for Christmas.
So that's officially the podcast started with what Brendan's wearing this week.
Exactly.
I have to say. Well, I was going to say, actually, speaking of clothes, if you probably can't see it on the video, but
two mics on.
I do have two mics on. No, but it's not even that. I've got this jumper is destroyed because Brendan and I were being real manly men about a half an hour ago in our office. We were trying to fix a printer, which we didn't fix. But
I turned it upside down.
Basically, he literally did. Basically,
put a photo of it.
Do you know what? Yeah,
here.
We'll put a photograph there. And as you can see with it being upside down, the reason that it's not working is because the ink is gone, so we got new toner. The toner won't fit, and I'm covered in ink as a result. But anyway, what I want to talk about is actually to do with another photograph. I'm going to show you on my phone, and I'll put it up on the screen as well. Have a look at this. Have you seen this photograph going on the internet today, and you can see it here yourself?
No.
So as you can see, there's a bit of photoshopping going on, right? Your man has gone from that photograph, he's up with the girl in that, and so on.
Oh, has he photoshopped himself into these, or?
No, he's photoshopped people out. This is the point. So the headline I read was, "Photo whiz kid will erase your ex." So they're all people's ex, you see.
So eternal sunshine of the spotless.
Exactly.
Photo.
It's a great idea. So your man is he's a 21-year-old, and he's on Twitter, and he's offering $10. He's charging people to go through all the photographs. Like, so some of those photographs could be particularly decent shots, or let's say you were at the Eiffel Tower and you got a shot in front of that, and you're no longer with the ex or whatever, but you still liked the photograph or the way you looked in it. Well, this guy is doing an expert job, right? Listen to this.
Yeah.
He's an artist from America. So it says, if you ever wanted to erase all traces of an ex from your life, now there's a service that can help you. He's pushing the photo editing wizard. His name is Cersei, and the price. Sorry, it's a she. Excuse me, it's a she. The prices will go up as high as anything between $10 to $15. And if you want to get a photo properly photoshopped and take the person out, I mean, as you can see from the photograph, here's a look at it again. As you can see from the photograph, he's done a fairly, she's done a fairly good job, and you'd never know that there was anybody in there.
Yeah, but like the power of association as well, like, you know, like your mind will look at that photo and think, oh yeah, there's me in front of the it's like that was the time I was in Paris with my ex.
Yes.
Like you're not a crazy person. You're not just like, that was the time I was in Paris on my own and somebody took a photo. Like, you know, there's me and Eve, lovely day there last weekend in Cork. Like, if she was photoshopped out of that, like, would I just be like, that was the time I took a selfie in front of the ocean and I was delighted with myself. Like,
yeah, you're kind of cuddling fresh air.
Nonsense.
Well, no, but
stupid idea.
No, but listen though. Whilst I agree with you, again I go back to the
people are paying for it. Like
they are paying for it. She's making money out of it, and as I said, if let's just say for argument's sake, it was Anfield or the Eiffel Tower or any of those.
Yes.
Then you can. And if somebody said, "Jesus, you look really good in that photograph," well, no, your ex is now gone, and you still look really good in that photograph.
Tinder.
Unless like that one, you're physically cuddling or hugging someone. I mean, the photographs in that aren't. So
that's run by a woman, right? Named Cersei.
Yes.
Game of Thrones connotations, we won't go into that. Maybe she's vindictive, maybe she isn't.
Maybe she is, maybe she isn't.
But I can see a lad's version of this app coming out, right?
Where they put in famous birds?
Put in loads of unbelievable women around you. Just like, yeah, this is me in front, this is me down in Inchydonny. I took a selfie with all these babes. Me and the BRs. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do over the weekend. I'm going to be photoshopping.
So you're going to be charging the lads to Photoshop loads of babes. Loads of babes.
Yeah. Remember that time I was down in Puck Fair with Giselle Bundchen? There's the puck goat in the background. Lethal, man. Jeez, and she was wearing the exact same outfit from Victoria. That's right, yeah. She was at Puck that year. We snuck her into Falvies and nobody knew it was her.
Yeah, and there she is, 6'8" of her. Class. Yeah, so but she's making a fortune of it, and people are actually paying
even more money.
But do you know what? It just goes to show the random crap on the internet that people are making money from. I know we've spoken this in the podcast. We've definitely talked about it in the office. There's a girl in China, and she's making thousands of dollars a month. Thousands, I mean. Because people log on to, let's say, a version of YouTube, whatever the name of it is, and they basically pay to watch her eat her dinner. Nothing sexual about it. She just literally sits there, like, she's not kind of eating it in kind of a suggestive manner. She literally sits down, she has roast chicken and chips, and she sits there with a camera on her eating her dinner, and people are paying money to watch this. There is creeps out there, and they're paying for this crap.
I have to say, I'm slightly aroused.
Roast chicken and chips.
Roast chicken.
So it just goes to show the random shit that people will pay for.
Like that's I think that might be coming from China or Japan.
It's China,
you know, those huge populations, but then like the modern day, it's harder and harder to meet people because everyone's so busy. So I think a lot of people will eat their dinner while watching her eat her dinner, and it's like a way of kind of bridging the loneliness.
I never thought of that.
That's it. I remember seeing it on TV. It's fucking heartbreaking when you think about it that way. It's like
they're sitting there with a companion for dinner. You're spot on.
It's a bit like the modern day equivalent of having the radio on in the background. You know, like if you're living on your own. Like, but isn't that heartbreaking?
That is.
I feel
pretty
genuinely sad for the entire weekend now. So.
Yeah, well, so it just goes to show that the random stuff that people will pay for on the internet, and actually, may I just say,
people do together?
Just before we came down here talking about buying random shit on the internet, I just bought a set of, they cost $9.95. They'll come from China, and probably in about 6 months from now, and they're fake Apple AirPods.
Oh, I have a pair. Yeah. They're lethal.
Yeah, these only cost a tenner.
And I thought that AirPods were stupid, right? Thick because they'd be falling out of your ear. They don't, because they don't have the weight of the wire hanging them down, so they're very... They make loads of sense. The only bother is that when they're knockoffs, you can't use them for a phone conversation.
As a microphone, yeah.
And that kind of pisses me off because I was like,
that's the whole point of them, really, isn't it?
And then the amount of phone calls that I had in the first few days, people were like, "Hello, yeah, can you hear me? I'm like, yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, of course. And your phone's in your pocket. Yeah.
And
your phone's in your pocket.
And they're like, I can't. Your reception is bad, and I might as well have been beside a fucking telephone mast. I'd be like, shit. Anyway, so yeah, I'd have to be there with my AirPods, like an Egypt, then talking to the phone.
And at that point, if you're going to be doing that, you may as well just go.
You might as well just
hey, how's it
go.
going? Yeah,
now what I do, I'll get a phone call, and then I'll have to take out one of the AirPods and then hold it up to me here.
I know what you mean. But anyway, I bought those there random crap off the internet, cheapy stuff. Anyway, what else have we got? What have we got this week?
What do I? Yeah, I just heard my question that I asked. I was like, what do people do together
on the internet?
Well, you know, because the whole watching someone else eat because you're on your own, you normally eat food with someone else. And then I was like, that could be a very difficult question to investigate. Maybe rowing a boat or something like that. You know, I'm thinking like how I could make money. So the dinner eating thing is taken out of the equation. Yeah,
but she has so many subscribers. Like, she's like a celebrity now in China.
Yeah.
And you're right, it's a population thing as well. I mean, there's over 1 billion people there, so.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I'll come up with something. I'll just be playing a game of cards.
But you know, wouldn't it be class though to wouldn't it be class to be the person who comes up with that idea that everyone's like that young lad, what is he? He's 8 years of age, the young lad Ryan's Toys on YouTube.
Oh god, yeah, sickening. He's getting like 50 million a year.
Yeah, he's not even 10 years of age. I think he's only about 7 or 8. And basically, if you haven't heard of this guy, I'm sure most parents probably have, but this guy basically he kind of reviews toys on his YouTube channel, and he doesn't even unboxes them.
He just unboxes them, and
plays with them. Yeah,
this is cool.
But he has millions of subscribers and thousands and thousands and millions of hits, and obviously that means revenue from Google and YouTube.
Yeah.
And he makes
toys and that market, they are so untouchable advertising wise, because like he's never going to be embroiled in a controversy or anything, and his advertisers as well. You know, it's a real clean, you know, audience like that. You make fortunes altogether, because there's been a number of YouTuber controversies down through the years. Then advertisers like Coca-Cola and Pepsi, they'll pull it, and then it's the creators who are kind of, you know, in their 20s or teens that they get hit really hard with it. They stop making money. But he has, and those channels, they've just been constantly at the higher level, and it's just freaky how much money he has.
And plus, if you think about it,
class idea as well, because like when you're growing up, I remember Beast Wars. That was the thing I absolutely loved. Class program, all the rest of it, and I loved getting a new Beast Wars and unboxing it, and then, like, you know, that feeling. And that's what people get while they're watching it. It's like class.
Yeah, and then the other side of that is how many parents do you know who right now are probably handing their child a phone just to keep them occupied for a few minutes, like, and that's what they're watching. So you're talking to millions of views, and this young lad's makes. So if you haven't seen him, he's called Ryan's Toys.
Pops up, they probably hit the ad.
Yeah,
they're like,
exactly.
I would like a Beast War.
But you know, so wouldn't it be great to come up with, to be that person who comes up with the idea? Yeah. There was 2 other lads. I'm going off on a serious tangent here now about the internet, but there was 2 other lads.
You're
Irish
not
lads.
allowed tangents on
Irish
Friday Brew.
We should actually just call it the Friday tangent. There's 2 lads. They're either from Dublin or Louth, but they're up Leinster direction anyway. And now they're probably in their early 20s now. But they were Leaving Cert students, and they came up with an app idea that helped with revision. Now I can't remember the exacts around the full details, but it was essentially, do you know those books you buy to help revise for your Leaving Cert, like to do all your exams, papers or whatever?
What was the name of them again?
Yeah, you know the ones. They essentially came up with an app that has all of that on it. I think Google bought it off them, or some big company bought it, and these boys are in their early 20s now and they're multi-millionaires. Again, brilliant idea. I'd love to be that guy. I have no ideas. I'm so lacking creativity.
I've loads of ideas, but they're all just pointless, you know.
They're all too much to get up and running.
They're just
too
stupid.
much work.
They're not financial ideas to begin with. They're just nonsense.
It's just random stuff you want to do.
Pretty much,
A bit like this podcast.
Yeah. Going to talk about first job nerves.
Yes.
What was your first job? Working in a bar?
Working at a bar, yeah. Collecting glasses, stocking the fridges.
Can you remember your first day and first pint that you pulled? Like, were you nervous?
Yeah,
or
my first day in the bar, I was only 14, so I wasn't allowed to pull pints. I was only collecting glasses and stocking the fridges. But the very first time I remember being trained into the bar, I was probably about 16. And I remember, you know, every bar has their couple of local lads who drink their Murphys and their Guinness and their Beamish. And I remember thinking, how hard can that be? Like, oh, by Christ, if you get a pint of stout wrong. Of course, I was naive, like, yeah, bricking it, like.
Yeah.
But I can still remember the lads teaching me. Gareth was my boss. He was the owner of the pub. I can still remember him teaching me how to pull a proper pint, and me being like,
yeah.
oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. Up the tap.
Yeah.
Oh God. Panic, like. Sure, I know what I was doing.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever pulled a pint of Guinness.
Really?
I don't think I have. Maybe I have.
What am I?
I have one or two, but like I was so bad at my bar job that they just kept me on the glasses. And, like, it's a fact.
There he is, still collecting
But
glasses.
I was very good at collecting glasses.
Yeah.
It was in the Lane Bar, the worst place to be a glass collector, because they're all like cocktail glasses.
Yeah, and
Strawberry
balance
daiquiri glasses,
yeah.
mojito glasses,
I'm
margaritas.
sorry, go back. What did you call it?
Strawberry daiquiri, because that's what
people call
the
it.
country lads would call it when they come in. They go like,
I was just gonna say
and
that,
they'd be on a lads' weekend. They'd be like,
Strawberry daiquiri.
can I have a strawberry daiquiri there?
I tell you what, lads,
skidding.
and strawberry daiquiri is a nice drink.
But a frozen one in the Lane Bar. Oh, savage.
Nice, yeah.
You see, because the strawberry daiquiri, when it's not frozen, is just kind of like in a martini glass.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be too mad about it. But the frozen daiquiri, oh, savage stuff.
No, I agree. But yeah, no, when it comes to collecting glasses, especially when they're different types of cocktail glasses, I get it. There's a balance problem.
I used to have all the cocktail glasses along there. You could have about, like, you know, maybe 5 or 6 bottles or glasses, and then you'd have another, and like I could come back with like 20 glasses, like with no tray, because you'd have to use no tray because the place would be wedged.
And they see Brendan walking along with all the glasses. Oh, crater.
Yeah. And people pinching my ass.
That was a real sexual harassment.
It was. I was only like 17, 18, I'd say. Yeah.
That's sexual harassment.
Yeah, it was like.
Yeah.
And sure, like, your hands are there. It's 2010, lawless time in Ireland.
Lawless.
And yeah, it was ridiculous. If you didn't know, you could actually, you know, you'd see it in the papers, like, I just had such a lovely bottom.
Tell me though,
but I'm talking about it. Sorry,
because
last night I was getting a Chinese. And called up, and the creator on the phone, she was getting trained in, and you could tell that she was a young one, and like it was her first evening, because it was a Thursday, nice and easy, and like, Jesus, like, you just, heart went out to her, because she was so nice, and she was asking, like, you know, this, that, and then she's like, oh, is that a starter or main? And I was like, oh, they never really asked me, and I was like, I suppose a main, yeah, because it was sharing between me and Eve. And then she's like, that's €15. So I was like, it's not usually €15. I was like, that's perfect. And I could hear kind of in the background, I was like, no. And I was like, sorry, €13. I was like, great stuff, fantastic. Okay, I'll be there. So,
well, you were nice, fair play to you.
Well, you know, like, and then 10 minutes later, got a phone call from the Chinese. I was like, cool. Call me to tell me it's ready. Picked it up. I was like, hello. I was like, hi, this is Brendan here. I just ordered the. And she's like, oh no, sorry, wrong number. And she hung up. So, like, the creator was obviously trying to call someone else, and then call me back, and like, just heart went out to her. But then I went in, and I was looking forward to actually meeting her and saying, you're doing a great job, like, fair play to you, you know, and all, and she was gone. So maybe she got fired, I don't know. Maybe she was there 100 days, or else she just clocked off because it was after like 8 o'clock. But it just reminded me of me working in the bar. Glass collecting was grand, but when I had to, oh Christ, even thinking about it and telling this story now is just, it, like, my heart just, I want the ground to swallow me up to this day. It was during the day. I just finished the bottles and the stock and all the rest, and then I was on for a couple of hours being trained in. This is probably why I wasn't I didn't go out beyond this day. There was like a table of 6 or 8 at a table. They were on a hen, so it was only about 1 o'clock in the day, but they were getting like these champagne flute cocktails. Yeah. So I, like, Killian, the manager, told me to carry it on the tray, and I was like, please no, like, because the tray, and there were these little weird style champagne, real top heavy yolks.
Oh, I can see where this is going.
I got over to the table, like, I came across the bar, I got to, like, here, and somebody said, fair play to you know. I said, thanks very much. Whoop. And one of them went, and then
you tried to balance, I get it.
And all of them just went and like nobody else was in there because it was so early, and I was just like, oh my god, oh god, it's awful. Like I actually feel it now.
I can see him kind of.
Oh Jesus Christ, my heart is going now. Like it was so awkward, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, and like sure I had to come out and mop it up, and oh Christ,
you're absolutely mortified.
I'm still mortified. And then another week of mortification was because I was working in the Ross. They were like, listen, Bernie, you're absolutely cat at your job. You're of no use to us for Christmas week, so why don't you go and work? You'll do a great job in the Killarney Park Christmas week.
5-star hotel.
5-star
great
hotel.
idea.
But like
the idea,
in fairness though, the idea, I don't like the idea was just to train me up and kind of get me used to customer. And sure, like I had no experience. I was probably not even confidently ordering my own meal if we were out for dinner. Do you know, I'd be like,
not to mind say other people's.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so like I just didn't know how the whole thing worked. And it was just a week of just trying to get through the day. I didn't mind the stock and the bottles in the morning, but it was 10 to 6.
Yeah, sounds
the big freeze.
Stressed out of your mind.
Oh lads, I was hiding nearly like for like 7 days, like trying to
I can imagine.
6.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't know how to do it.
But you'll always come across in workplaces, especially when it comes to bars and restaurants and shops, you'll always come across somebody who, you know, who gets it and they'll help you. A bit like you with the phone call with the girl last night in the Chinese. Like, you know, you understand. But then you come across somebody who's obviously clearly very competent at their job, but they've no time for trainees. And they're so rude and they're so... And
I have to say, like, the staff in both places and the Killarney Park, like, I don't know, I would not have been patient with me. But they were so nice and accommodating.
That's good to hear, though.
Busiest time of the year, Christmas week, like, and they were still so nice. And like, oh Christ, I still like that story of bringing the cocktails over. I just get panic attacks thinking about it.
I think that
awful.
is brilliant.
Yeah,
yeah,
thanks,
that's class.
Horrendous, but great
This
work,
guy.
great crack. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great crack. Oh,
yeah.
man.
So first job nerves, yeah. And I can still remember from a radio perspective, the very first time I went on air on Red FM, I started to read the sports news, and like that, I was on at the weekend. So I thought, sure, there's no listen to the weekend.
Wobbly.
Little did I know that the particular show I was reading the sports news on was one of the biggest on the radio station. I didn't know that at the time. Probably just as well I didn't know it because it was already a disaster. Wobbly voice. One of my audio clips didn't play.
Once your vocal starts going, you can't control it.
I was shocking bad.
Like,
I actually ended up being taken off of the sports bulletins on the weekend, and I was sent to matches to report on the phone and stayed for a bit. Yeah, shout out to Colin O'Sullivan and Philip Burke. Philip Burke from Red FM really helped me. He was actually, I think it was one of his shows, if not his show, and he was kind of looking at me through the glass, kind of going. And Colm O'Sullivan, who's still in Red FM, a friend of mine, Colm is the one who actually ended up taking over for me to do the sports bulletins while I was sent to the matches. Probably just to justify it as well in that, but from the sports editor's perspective, because I was so bad. But once I got nervous and once I started to lose it, gone.
Yeah, very hard.
Forget about it. Just
very
go
hard
to a song,
reclaim it.
Yeah, it was a disaster. But you get used to that. But yeah, definitely bar work and restaurant work, and especially in a busy spot like the pub I kind of grew up working in was a place called Paddy the Farmers in Cork, which is now open again actually through new ownership. But
they've forgotten about your time there, and that's all.
Oh, I've been in there recently. Sure, none of them remember me at all. But I remember, and plus I'm barred. No, but we were a real Saturday rugby pub. To really ply your trade and to really get used to the job as a bar person or whatever, Saturdays was the place to be, because you'd have the Heineken Cup, you'd have Munster playing whoever, and the bar would be jointed, like packed, and that was always good crack. The one thing I hated though about bar work was the food side of it. I preferred doing the drinks in the bar. I hated being a waiter. I was just shocking bad at it. Like,
you see, I think I'd be really good at it now because I've 10 years experience of going to restaurants and pubs and asking and ordering, and you just build up your knowledge of things, whereas when I was 18 I was like nothing really made sense. I was like, is that a curry? They were like, no, that's a pasta. You idiot.
That's actually fish and chips.
It's
the same with gluten-free stuff now. I mean, when I grew up in a bar and restaurant, I'm putting these sheets down, I keep falling them, I keep dropping them, there was no gluten-free. You know, you know what I mean? There was nobody was a celiac. Nobody knew what that was when I was in a bar. So yeah, I'd be terrible at that stuff.
How long does he have?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think we're almost done for the week.
Are we? We're done for next week as well, because you're off.
Well, I was just going to say, I'm off next Friday, and you're broadcasting from the Clarendon studio anyway. So we may have the podcast next week. We mightn't have a video of the podcast next week because we might be able to do an audio chat.
Okay.
But we'll come back to that. So we may have an audio next week, so keep an eye on subscribe on the Spodcast, the Spotify or the Apple Podcast or whatever. But
Spotify and Spodcast.
Spotify and Spodcasts.
Yeah.
But what we'll do is we'll see you next week, but we certainly won't have a video next Friday because
Are you going anywhere, Andrew?
No, I'm just off the week. The plan is to clean my house, clean my car. Do you know what's all inside my car? Do you know the tickets from the car park? There's about 200 million of them in the door of my car. I just noticed yesterday.
Are they recyclable?
Ooh, I don't know because there's a strip on them. There's a magnetic strip on those cards, isn't there?
Elaine has us terrified, lads.
Yeah, we are doing this. Radio Kerry, to be fair, are in the middle of a cool green initiative where we've finally introduced proper recycling in the building. Now, Elaine goes mad because people are misusing the bin. So, like, they're putting in a manky, dirty dinner tray covered in gravy and shite into this yolk. Sure, that's now useless, like. So yeah, Elaine goes a bit mad when that happens.
Yeah, she's been very pernickety. She's been pernickety is a great word, isn't it?
Have a great weekend. Enjoy.
So you're doing nothing on your week off, like?
No plans. No, I just had days to take, so I'm just going to take it next week.
Wasted on you.
Yeah.
Wasted
on the way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm going to do next week? Train. Loser. Yeah. Before we go, do you have a font for me?
I do, yeah. This
Brendan's
week
Weekly Friday Brew font.
It's called a very ironic name. It's called Ink Free. And
is that coming up as blurry?
Probably, yeah. But sure, it's grand.
I can fix that.
That's part of the whole pizzazz. Apparently. And while I'm the reason I'm doing the show from Killarney next week is because I'm in the Cork Comedian of the Year final. Some might say I didn't get through initially in the first round.
Some might say he got through by default, but nobody talks about that.
People are calling me the Thierry Henry and Denmark of the Cork Comedian of the Year competition. But listen, I was born in Cork Bonds and I drink Murphy's.
I was just going to say, you talk about being in by default, and now all of a sudden you tell us that you're in for the Cork Comedian of the Year and you're not even from Cork.
I'm wearing red, I drink Murphy's and a Beamish.
I'm wearing red right now.
Yeah.
We are the Cork colours, look, red and white.
I've just been disqualified. Kerry Jersey, he's out of the competition.
Get out.
But yeah, if you are around Cork City Cade next Friday night, head on down to the Wonky Donkey Comedy Club. It's a $5 in, and the winner gets a professional paid support slot. Yeah. You get to support a professional comedian on their comedy tour, and also €250 in cash.
Nice.
So go there and boo everybody else's jokes. That's kind of that's my approach to this competition.
Quick, tell us a joke.
What's green and feels itchy?
I don't
know. Grass.
All right, lads, have a great weekend. Good luck with that next Friday night, and we'll be talking to you.
Going to make a GP joke.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, we have to go. I'll talk to you later.
As I always say, bye, 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 bye. Bye, bye, bye. Bye.
Bye.